Back in the day, the only way to flirt with someone was done in person. Of course, you can always have naughty phone conversations. Luckily, the dawn of technology has added another level of flirting by way of texting. I love the fact that I can always send a quick text to a potential date during the day just to let him know I'm thinking of him. In today's video, we will be showing you how to text guys. Men love these texts. Without further ado, let's begin. 1. Let him initiate, most of the time. One of the major complaints often heard from women is that they feel they're always the ones initiating the conversation over text. If this is you, then it's time to take a step back. I know you're probably super excited about this new guy and see nothing wrong with hitting him up first, which of course there isn't. But in the early stages, this should be done in moderation. Besides, if you're always the one messaging first, then you're actually not even giving him the chance to initiate a conversation with you. 2. Yes, it's okay to text him first, but do so sparingly. Another question that comes up quite often is if it's okay to text him first. The answer is yes. It's totally okay, within the context of genuine connection. When you first start dating someone, you want your communication to feel natural while still letting him come to you. After all, you don't want him to feel like he's doing all the work. Because when a man is pursuing you, he needs to feel like he's making progress with you. So yes, it's okay to text him first. When in doubt, refer to the general rule of thumb that I mentioned in point number 1. Let him initiate 3 or 4 times. Then you initiate the next time. 3. Keep his interest by sending him texts that add value to the relationship. There are texts that add value to a relationship and build connection. Then there are texts that can drain the life out of it. In the early dating stages, this often looks like some kind of version of a guy sending a message along the lines of, "Hey, what's up?" Then you reply, "Nothing, I'm bored. What's going on with you?" If you've been dating a while, whether it's been a dating app like Bumble or Tinder, or a traditional online dating site like Match, you've probably received and sent more than your fair share of these conversations, all of which are boring, tedious, and lackluster. What's worse is that more often than not. 4. Text him according to his level of interest in you. Nowadays, many women seem to get caught up with men that are low-investment texters. These are the guys that like you, but only enough to keep you as an option. Like the guy that seemed great at first, but then disappears for weeks, only to pop back up again with a "hey." Or the guy that only seems to send texts late at night. Or the one that is really great at messaging you, but never asks you out. These are the guys that you don't want to overinvest in. 5. Wait until he responds before texting again. If you've just sent him a text, don't message him again until you hear back from him, even if he disappears in the middle of the conversation. I know that this can be hard to do. Not hearing back from a guy you like immediately can turn minutes into hours. It can feel pretty crappy, trigger anxiety and fears that you've done something wrong, or that he doesn't like you anymore. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. The truth is, you don't know what's really going on with him. Just because he doesn't text you back right away does not mean he's ghosting you. 6. Don't overthink your text, his or yours. Spending ages overanalyzing every message that you send and receive can be the kiss of death in the early stages of dating. Overanalysis equals paralysis. Texting with your guy should be fun. Don't let anxiety take over and lose the joy in it by getting caught up in trying to send the perfect message. Or tripped up by reading into what every little word or emoji from him means for your future together. The truth is, guys are much more simple and straightforward than you think. They are often very literal. So if anything, the best thing to do is use the KISS method. Keep it simple, sweetie. Focus on clear communication and getting to the next date. 7. Be original with how you initiate a text. No one wants to be a boring texter or receiver of a boring text. One way to avoid this is to send an interesting conversation starter, something that's more than just a simple "hi" to your man. Besides just being plain dull, it's also super lazy. Remember the analogy that texting is kind of like a tennis match. There should be some back and forth to keep the conversation fun and interesting. Think original and engaging, with your goal being that whatever message you send gives him something he can easily respond to. 8. Do ask him open-ended questions. If you want to keep the conversation flowing, then asking open-ended questions is the key. Open-ended questions are questions that can't be answered by a yes or a no or one-word answer. They are questions that will spark conversation and allow him to share details about his life with you, which in turn helps you get to know him better, and vice versa. On the other hand, closed-ended questions feel dull and stale, which can quickly dampen the mood of any text conversation. 9. Don't play games. Healthy relationships are built on communication and authenticity. While it's important to understand the natural flow of texting, basic guidelines and rules of thumb, there can also be a fine line between guidelines that show him that you have standards and those that are just you playing games. I also know it can be confusing, because you've probably heard all kinds of things, like if he texts you, then you should wait 3 hours to reply. Or tell him you're out doing something amazing with your friends rather than just sitting at home by yourself binging Netflix. 10. Keep your texts short and sweet. Texts are not emails. When it comes down to it, texts are primarily for logistics and a bit of playful banter. Anything beyond that, like sending your guy your life story or every detail of your day in one long text, is just way too much. Think of it this way. In real life, would you walk up to a guy that you barely know and give him a 10-minute monologue about your day? How would you feel if the tables were turned and a guy did that to you? This is basically the equivalent of sending him a 3-scroll text. Not such a turn-on. Ideally, texts should be brief. Of course, there's such a thing as too short. I'm not talking about 3-word texts here. So what's the ideal length of a text? I recommend the rule of thumb. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.